Right, so let me get something straight. People hate upon Andrew Tate for exposing this cult for what it really is, which is a load of nonsense that is actually killing more souls than doing good. And then you've got people like Andrew Tate and myself that are currently fighting the persecutors and haters with the truth, mirroring their hate and their persecution towards us. Yet our accounts get restricted by Facebook. Okay, well done, Facebook. Bravo. Congratulations. Well, this is how it goes then. People are quick enough to report us for persecuting them because they can't handle the pressure, because they are weak as piss. They can't handle the pressure. We're the ones that are being ruthlessly attacked, psychologically and spiritually. We are being taken for granted 24/7. We are the real victims in all of this, when everyone out there persecuting us get off scot-free, that are able to post on their Facebook profile. Well, this is how it goes. The Facebook Community Standards group are going to repent for falsely accusing us of any wrongdoing. Otherwise, if you don't, you are all going to burn within the lake of fire filled with molten rock and brimstone, where the gnashing of teeth get louder and the presence of the Lord draws nigh. You are left on your own, fending for yourselves. Because these games that you pull on us, at the end of the day, they're only going to backfire on you. And those of you that report us to Facebook for attacking you, or because you don't have the two front balls to actually face us in person and give us the persecution straight. Sooner or later, people are going to need us. They are going to need us to expose this bullshit, this injustice for what it really is. But by then, it would have been too late. And every single one of you are going to be left crying when we're raptured and you're left behind upon the streets, upon hell on earth, as I'd like to call it, because that's technically what it is. And you are going to live to regret everything, and I mean everything, that you have inflicted upon us, as well as Andrew Tate for that matter, that currently expose this system for what it really is. Just goes to show, doesn't it, how weak as piss people are. People are dumb enough, gullible enough to believe everything this system tells them to do. In other words, they're a bunch of blue pillars. They laugh and joke and make a mockery out of it now, but they always come crawling back to us 24/7 after doing us wrong, crying like the weak-ass bitches they are, for our help, after throwing us under the bus repeatedly. No. You are left reaping what you sow. And I'm not saving any of you. And I'm sure as hell not going to help any of you. You are on your own. You're quick enough to dish it out. You're going to take it. You're going to bear that weight, the same weight that you apply to yourselves upon your shoulders by falsely accusing us of wrongdoing. You are going to use that weight in order to get right with God. Otherwise, the more you want to continue this, the more your life is going to be a living hell. Your happiness, your joy, it's all temporary. They're short boosts in comparison to what waits within our heart and our mind, because we've worked our asses off for it, man. We've worked our asses off for it. You, on the other hand, you have to lie, you have to cheat, you have to bear false witness, you have to go against everything the Bible actually preaches as well as teaches. You have to play the victim and, convince hierarchy panels, as you will, that we're the villains, when in actuality you are the ones harassing us, you are the ones bullying us for actually in fact exposing this cult. And ironically, you're the same old weak-ass pissants that come crawling back to us crying with your tails tucked between your legs, like the manginas you are when the pressure gets too much for you. Well, newsflash, you're going to take that pressure. Oh, you're going to take that pressure. You best believe you're going to take that pressure. You're quick enough to dish it out, and you sure as hell got to take it, however many folds over. Because like I said, our happiness, our joy, it's not temporary, unlike you blue pillars out there. Yours is temporary. It does not last, because you live outside of God's will. You live outside of his will in order to obtain that. We don't. We expose this cult for what it really is, and that is degeneracy, foolishness. Our happiness and our joy, it's permanent, man. It's permanent. No matter what battles we go through, no matter how hard this world inflicts punishment upon us for actually exposing the lies of this world, the injustice, as you will, you know, ours is permanent. That's what I love about our life, us chosen. Our happiness, our joy is permanent. Yours, not even going to last a few seconds. Not even going to last an hour. Because I can guarantee any of you morons watching this video, when that hit goes, once you've had that happiness and that joy taken away from you, you're going to move on to some other sucker. You are going to move onto some other sucker and try and take it from them. And then you're going to live outside of God's will again and again and again and again and again and again in order to obtain temporary happiness, temporary joy in comparison to ours. Ours is permanent. See, this is what people don't understand. Ours, we get to keep it forever. You don't. You are blocking your own blessings and your own rewards by doing all of this bullshit onto us. And we get to laugh at the very faces of those that actually in fact hate upon us, that persecute us, that think that they're living the high life on temporary joy, temporary happiness, only to cry when it gets stolen from them because that hit that they got is actually in fact gone. It didn't last. Like I said, while our happiness and our joy is permanent because we've worked our asses off for it. We've done all of the right things for it. We've made sacrifices for it. People, on the other hand, out in today's society, the blue pillars, as I'd like to call you, you don't have what it takes in order to make sacrifices because you're as weak as piss. You, like I said, laugh and joke, you know, acting as though you're on cloud nine by doing what you do. But ironically, you always come crawling back crying for our help later. And I'm no longer helping those of you that are quick enough to throw shade at me like that. Nope. You're quick enough to dish it out, you're going to take it. You are going to take it. You are going to take everything that you inflict upon us, but here's the thing, we can actually take it. Might get a little frustrating from time to time when we are actually in fact the real victims in all of this. Might get a little bit frustrating, but we can laugh it off, we can brush that shit off our shoulders, because like I said, we have real happiness in here, and in here we have real joy. We have real gratitude, and only God knows what else. Whereas these said traits that people are currently looking for within today's world, They think they're getting it by doing the devil's bidding against us, by living outside of God's will. But that couldn't be any further from the truth. Because these are fractions of what you will actually get. They are quite literally fractions in comparison, like I said, to our happiness, our joy, our peace, our gratitude, and all of these things. They are fractions in comparison to what we've got inside of here and in here. And this is why I see people rage out time and time again. This is why I see people look miserable as fuck time and time again. Why is that? Because I tried warning each and every one of you that this is what would happen when you falsely accuse us of being the villain, when in actuality you are the ones harassing us, stalking us, and persecuting us for speaking out against this injustice and this corruption within today's society. But it's all good though. Like I said, it's all good, because at the end of the day, you're going to receive the same spiritual warfare. You're going to receive the same psychological warfare through your so-called connections that you think are your so-called friends. And guess what? You're going to be left on your asses yet again. And who do you think you're going to come crawling back to when you begin to realise that, oh gee, yeah, well, I've got no friends now. I've got no contacts. Why is this? Maybe because this guy was telling the truth, and he was the real deal. He was our golden ticket out. And we've really gone and shafted him. You know. Too late. Adioskis, amigos. Adioskis. You are left within the Matrix, crying like the bitches you are, when everything gets thrown back your way, folds over, and at brute force, while we get to live in peace. We get to live in our long-lasting happiness, as well as joy, and all of these other traits, as you will, of the Bible. And you can't even do that. You blue-pilled pussies within today's society can't even do that. Because I can guarantee any of you watching this video now, every time that your temporary hit of joy and happiness is granted onto you for doing the devil's work, and once it gets taken away through your so-called connections, you're forever going to repeat the same behaviours 24/7 to get that hit. Whereas us, on the other hand, we don't have to do any of that shite in order to keep it. You know, because we get to keep it forever. This is what I'm saying. So keep on with these games, like I said, and that's for Facebook community standards. You keep on persecuting us. We're not going to give up. We're not going to throw in the towel. We're going to keep on exposing this cult. We're going to keep on exposing those of you involved. And we're going to continuously and ruthlessly rile up hell up to the point where you are the ones that are now going to receive a spiritual and psychological attack upon your very presence for taking advantage of us like that. Us called, us anointed, us chosen. And don't come to me crying for my help, like I said. As a matter of fact, none of you come crawling to me crying for my help later, when you begin to realise that your lives were actually, in fact, temporary all along, and that your lives are actually short-lived in comparison to ours. You don't have a life. Whereas us, on the other hand, that chose to take the golden ticket out in order to expose this cult, we get to live an everlasting life. While it may involve pain and suffering a lot of the time, and wrong accusations as well as persecution 24/7, we still get to live an everlasting life. We still get to embrace the peace like I said, the happiness and the joy that we've built within a prolonged amount of time within ourselves, we get to keep that permanently. And I can't wait to share it amongst those of you that actually, in fact, inflict all of this upon us chosen, just to add insult to injury, just to cause narcissistic injury all the more, and kill your prides and your egos until there is nothing left. You know, this is how predictable you really are. You are the same people, like I said, that put your feels before the reals. We've accepted the truth. We are at peace with the truth. As a matter of fact, we have actually embraced reality for what it really is. We have welcomed reality for what it really is, which makes us at peace with the whole thing. But those of you, like I said, out there that do the devil's bidding, that do everything within your worldly power to inflict all of this upon us, you don't get to experience this life of luxury. You don't. And you never will. And you are always, and I mean always, forever going to come crawling back crying for my help. And those that tried warning each and every one of you of your consequences and your punishments to your actions. You're going to go crawling back to them crying for their help. And what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to help you after throwing us under the bus the way that you did? No. You're left in Satan's hands. Since you want to act like a girlfriend of Satan, since you want to keep on persecuting us chosen, us realists as you will, since you want to keep on doing the devil's bidding, you're on your own. Like I said, you people out there are on your own. And this goes for my neighbours as well. This goes for my neighbours as well. If you can't accept us for who we really are, you're on your own. And you're going to reap everything that you inflict upon us 24/7. And you're going to bear that weight, and you're going to carry that weight. And if you can't carry that weight, then I highly suggest that you take that weight elsewhere. And you begin to, as though your souls depend on it. Because they really do. And I'm not even messing around, I'm not even joking and laughing about it, because this is a serious matter. It's a serious matter. Souls are at stake. And this is what people don't realise and don't understand. They think, like I said, by living this blue-pilled life, doing the devil's bidding, by inflicting all of the shite that they inflict upon us 24/7, they think they're living the high life by receiving temporary hits of joy and happiness that they think, by the way, they're going to keep for eternity, that they're going to keep permanently, when little did they know it's short-lived, because they are living outside of God's will by doing what they do unto us. While us, on the other hand, that actually abide by the will, that live by the gospel, that expose the degeneracy within today's society, along with the injustice that we have to face 24/7, we get to keep everything that we've worked hard for in here and in here permanently. We get to keep it permanently. And unlike our persecutors, like I said, it's not temporary. It's not temporary. Because, one, we've made sacrifices, which you blue pillars of today's society can't even do that because you're as weak as piss. And you value the idea of a short temporary life based upon feelings and emotions along with pleasures, only to rage out when your lives come crumbling down above your very heads. And two, well, I don't really have a choice maybe for that one, or an option, whatever you want to call it. So, to those of you that are currently exposing the injustice of today's society, and those of you that have been called to actually preach against the injustice and the degeneracy of today's society, keep on. To show that they want right by continuously doing what they do to us, give them that show. Because there's only going to be a select a percentage, even there's going to be a select percentage of real winners out of all of this, and it isn't going to be those that persecute us, those that try to deny us our free will. Rather, it is us that expose the cult, that expose the lies and the degeneracy of today's cult. While each and every one of you, like I said, live this temporary, short-lived life, only to cry, with your tails tucked between your legs for our help. The same guys, and the same women, by the way, that you threw under the bus, thinking you were big and cool, and that you have a life going for yourself, only to be rejected and turned away, living within what you reap. Not our problem. Nope. It's not our problem. If you've got the balls to dish it out, like I said, you're sure as hell going to take it, however many folds over. And like I said, God, he never misses. He always hits his target. He always hits his target. And this includes you, Lucifer. This includes the devil. And the third of the angels that he talked out of heaven when the great fall happened. And these said people, like I said, are the ones to live within their feelings and emotions every time the tables are flipped and the script is reversed. Just goes to show, like I said, who the real winners are. Despite any battles and shortcomings, like I said. Despite any false accusations, lies and deception, slander, persecution, and only God knows what else towards us, just goes to show who the real winners are of today's society. Do you think it's those of you, like I said, that are persecuting us and doing all of the devil's work? No. You might think that you are, when in actuality, you couldn't be any further from the mark. I'm telling you now. You couldn't be any further from the mark. Keep up the good work, like I said, in exposing this system, Andrew Tate. You know, you have my support, you have my back, unlike these pussies of today's society that are quick enough and dumb enough to actually believe everything they hear, you know, about you. Keep up the good work, Terry Joel Jr., I believe your name is. We need you. Keep on exposing the degeneracy of today's society. Keep on hurting the degenerative, poxy little feelings and emotions of these said morons, just to take their temporary hits of joy and happiness away for everything they inflict upon us, champ. Give them that friendly reminder as to who's really in charge. And for anybody else that I follow, either on YouTube and Facebook, that are genuinely doing the same thing without having to sneak diss another chosen or another realist, and then put on a front, as you will, in order to expose the cult. Because this goes one of two ways. You're either a realist, wholeheartedly that is, and with every ounce of your mind and your soul's, you know, life force, as you will, and you have your brothers and sisters genuinely, what's the word I'm looking for, on board with you. In other words, you're to support them, you know, and elevate them, as you will. Give them that, or should I say, in order to give them that boost, as you will, if they're struggling, you know. Because I know, like I said, there's a few people out there that claim to be rebels of this matrix, as you will, that expose the degeneracy of today's society, but yet they still do a load of crap behind our back, thinking they're getting away with it, to then put on a fake front of, say, I don't know, being a nice person or a good person, to make up for their dodgy dealings behind our back. See, I know how the devil operates, you know, and, you know, it's the same with these said people as well. They're in for one rude awakening. Oh, you best believe they are. And it's going to hit them like a freight train. And it is going to crush them. It's going to crush them. And like I said, you know, that temporary hit of joy and happiness, you know, it's short-lived. It's going to get taken away through their so-called connections, and they're going to be the ones left worse off out of all of this. We're not, because we have a relationship with God through his Son, Jesus Christ, via the Holy Spirit. These morons, they don't even have that. And they're as weak as piss. They are fickle. We're built for it, and we're going to continue to feast like lions, real lions that happen to have teeth and that aren't afraid to actually tear the living shit out of those that trespass upon our property, unlike these pussycat lions that can talk the talk but don't have the balls to actually back up what they're saying. That's what makes us unique. That is what makes us real winners. Because of a Lion of Judah, we have teeth, like I said, unlike the lion of this world. I say lion, pussycat. You know, for a lion of this world. Us lions of Judah have teeth. Oh, you best believe we have teeth. And we are going to feast. We are feasting upon our prey that pull this crap on us 24/7. And you best believe we're going to know instantly who's on our side genuinely, that is, and who is not. Because your feelings and emotions will actually show through your very eyes as we speak. That is how predictable you really are. And then God's going to do the rest of the work from there. He's going to take the weeds. He is going to take the degenerates that are within our circle. And he's going to trample each and every one of you, leaving you kill your very selves over virtually not even a sand grain sized crumb of a piece of bread. Because you would have quite literally killed one another for nothing. Essentially, that's what people are doing. Just like the images that people portray themselves to be nowadays. What, do you think there's any truth, like I said, to the images you portray? That is no. Because like I said, people have to maintain these false images and act as though their life is based upon this false image, only to then come to a rude realization that they were living a lie the entire time. And these fake images that people apply to themselves, I can guarantee any of you watching this video, give the devil a foothold into convincing them to live in sin, whilst applying said images that they've actually maintained within themselves that don't even exist. Because the Bible evidently proves this to be true. It's not only predicted it, it's also predestined it. And no matter how hard the devil comes after us, we're going to keep on fighting until the very end. And you best believe there is a second coming of Jesus Christ. He is going to rapture his church, while each and every one of you pussies of today's society are left behind crying like the weak-ass bitches you really are. When you begin to realise that we were telling the truth the whole time. So, enjoy this moment of fame, Facebook, for falsely accusing me and villainising me yet again. Enjoy this moment of fame for throwing shade at me and for slandering me, for actually supporting Andrew Tate in exposing this matrix, the injustice of the system, while it lasts, because I can guarantee you it is short-lived, it is temporary, and the whole of your Facebook community standards is going to crash, it is going to burn, and you are no longer going to maintain the lies and deception, because it would have been brought to light, and no matter how hard you try to cover it up with another alternative or another route, we will always find a way to bring it to light, and there's going to be nothing left of Facebook, because you are approving sin. You are approving persecution from those that aim it at us for preaching the truth. They get their asses kissed, they get given a gold star, well, while, like I said, we're demonised, we're marginalised, we get our accounts restricted, or better yet, taken down, cancelled even, for whatever reason. And yet, ironically, it's you said same people that always come for our help when you begin to realise just how desperate you really are due to your businesses failing, all because you failed us. And the females out there that were also chosen, biblically that is, to enforce God's will, to bring not only God's will within manifestation phases, rather his patriarchy too. The feminine type, as I'd like to call them. And there we have it. So, like I said, you sadists out there could only keep this up for so long before, like I said, the truth hits. You, like a freight train, you are the ones left crying for our help even, when you begin to realise just how much of a deep, black and yet fiery hole you've got yourselves into, and we're not going to help you. We're just going to let you reap everything that you sow within your life. We are also going to just allow you, to go into self-destructive mode and kill your very soul. It's the only way you weaklings out there are going to learn a valuable life lesson. That whatever you dish out does come at a price, a very heavy price. It might not be immediate, but like I said, God never misses. He's always on point, and he always gets his hit on those, like I said, that are doing the devil's work as we speak. So, we win, you lose.